Hey everyone, it's Tom here with a quick announcement just before we get into today's episode with JOLLYJAY, an episode where unfortunately I didn't record the first 10 minutes or so. I'm not quite sure what happened because I've got it to automatically record, but it didn't record. Thankfully, 95% of it is still intact. We're going to jump into that very soon. Just before we do though, please follow the show at BRR if you want about news, upcoming episodes, all that good stuff. Follow us on Twitter, also subscribe on the YouTube, subscribe on iTunes, leave us a review on iTunes, check us out on patreon.com/BRR. Go have a little mooch on that page. There's lots of different tiers on there, lots of different things if you want to give back to the show. Also go on to redbubble.com/BattleRap Resume if you want to get merchandise. But yeah, this is just a little quick thing. I want to say as well, thank you guys as ever for listening to the show. I really, really appreciate you. If you enjoy the show, leave us a review. As I say, please also go back for the archives, check out some new episodes. But without further ado, I give you the great JOLLYJAY.
Thinking back at it, it's crazy that my first 3 battles, including the tryout, were at international events. It was Blood in the Water 2, Blood in the Water 3, Blood in the Water 4.
It was huge.
Whereas like nowadays, you'd have to like work your way up and, do a battle on the tryouts event and, go on the demo channel. And there, my first battle was on the same card as Immaculate, second with Disaster and Soul Khan. So it was a blessed time to get involved in the scene.
Yeah, but there wasn't that infrastructure then, was there really? Because it just wasn't as popular. Like it was just, you would get like tryouts would get hundreds of thousands of views on the channel because that was the only outlet you had, and the channel was hot to a certain extent. But I mean, like in terms of like you said, you were rapping a lot early on. Like where did the battler writing come from? Like was that a very easy impulse? Was it obvious that you kind of gravitate to this thing?
Well, there's 2 things about rap that I always liked, like the writing process, 2 very different sides. I always liked the kind of creative, personal, like poetic writing, just actual like lyricism. I liked that a lot, which wasn't so much punchline based or comedy based. And I listened to a lot of like underground, I don't know, Aesop rock or something. All that type
sure.
But I was really into that, and I was like into writing at a very young age, even before I really listened to rap. And then I noticed, okay, you can write creatively and mix it with something as cool as a hip hop beat, and that was just like an immediate passion. At the same time, I always loved fucking about, like doing silly jokes and having punchlines and stuff. So I was always kind of intrigued to do battles. But it's like 2 different passions. I always try to think the punchlines is for battles, and all the other stuff is music. And then I was just happy to try out a battle and see how well I do. Well,
we get to the first battle. This is Blood in the Water 2. I mean, we instantly know we're in kind of like early. I love this kind of era of Don't Flop. It's so great to look back. The Blood in the Water events, I guess to a certain extent, you have your checkpoints and, your sunburns and stuff like this. And this was kind of an early series they were doing, kind of international events going down and stuff like that, international battles. I mean, crazy battles on this card. Crazy that you were part of this card. We have, such obscure battles, I guess, as Gizmo DPF went down there. Sensor versus Shizaz as well. Kruger versus Verb T. I mean, that was a brilliant battle. But your setup with Nishi, were you aware of Nishi prior to this, or?
Not at all. He was called Wordplay at the time. Like I don't know if he changed his name, but
yeah, that was what his MySpace was, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So I had like a bunch of lines written with Wordplay, and then he gets introduced as Nishi at the battle. I was like, oh fuck. I think I left out 2 bars that were Wordplay based. Well, I can't exactly remember how it was, but I didn't really know anything apart from his MySpace page, and I kind of realized that he had done something with Doc Brown, who I was a fan of, because he was in the same crew as them, I think, or he's kind of affiliated with Tony D and Doc Brown at the time. So I had like a bit of respect for him, but at the same time back then I kind of underestimated him as well. I mean, I won the battle, quite clearly on the night, but I do think that that kind of my performance is kind of dated, whereas his would probably get more respect now than it did then, if you know what I mean.
I think that's fair. Yeah,
because it was like a 60-second or 90-second rounds. So it was very punchline based, and you try to get as much reaction out in that short time as you can. Whereas now you've got longer rounds and you kind of expect people to rap more. And that's what he did. Like he didn't really have many, ground breaking punchlines. He didn't get much reaction, but he did rap really solidly and sickly. And like, at the time I didn't appreciate as much as I do now.
Yeah, no, definitely has technique and prominence. But you have punches, you know, you have a lot of lines here that really hit. And when I was going back and watching your stuff, JOLLYJAY, as you know, I kind of seen quite a few of your battles incidentally over the years and stuff, but I never like watched you like really intently to a certain extent. And watching this, there is just that kind of hilarity that shines through, that winningness. Like, you know how to win a battle. You've won a lot of battles as well. I think that's, you know, what we're going to establish.
Yeah, it's just true. I think it's always about a tactic, going in to think, what do I need to do to win a battle? And sometimes that's kind of like, I kick myself in the arse doing that. Like, we'll get to the Innuendo battle, which is kind of a disaster, but I still won that battle on the night. It was unjudged, but, you know, it was kind of people were saying I won it. But there I kind of did it. I wrote for the crowd, you know, and looking back on it, because it was a German crowd, I wasn't happy with my performance, because I realized that doesn't really translate to YouTube.
No.
Yeah, but you have to always think about the crowd. Even if you don't want the crowd to dictate what you do, because you want to be your own artist. But I think it's always important, if you want to win, to try and catch them as well. It's kind of, you know, one of the things you have to do as an MC.
And as is the way with a lot of these, I mean, this happens in Don't Flop anyway, but it happens a lot more early on. Technical issues, you know, we get a little kind of PSA at the start explaining that the first half of the battle is going to be shown through second and third camera angles. You know, I think a famous one is like Josh Wall versus Outer. I remember Hulk's tryout against Sniper, he had similar issues. So you kind of have the odd camera, but we still get the full battle. You know what I mean? It's not the end of the world. People probably remember Blood in the Water 2 for the burning London opening, which I remember asking Kruger about that. Why was that the sort of, you know, thematical drive? And he didn't really know, but I guess it's kind of, you know, it's memorable in a certain
I got all my patience together to check this guy's MySpace. Worst 8 seconds of my life, mate. I got as taken an instant as feud when I listened to you, thinking you're rude, spitting ridiculous shit in your tunes. I put one and one together and I still think that it's true. Kool-Aid's verses against madness were ghostwritten by you.
June 2010. Obama is only 2 years into his first term here, which is just like crazy to think about. I don't know why I've used that as a yardstick of history, but Respect BA, another yardstick of history, is introducing you like the legend that he is. You know, so great to see his return recently. And Nishi representing London, Brighton is yourself. A big crowd, wasn't it? Quite an exciting vibe.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. And not to forget, like, Immaculate performed that night as well. He battled her. So that was just sick as well, because that's someone I'd been watching for years, you know. Yeah, it was definitely quite nerve-wracking.
Did you speak to Immaculate at all?
I think I must have, shared a few words.
Right. Yo, what up?
Exactly. Casual fist bump.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't have a long conversation with him. I was there with a few friends, and I was quite, I was quite nervous for the first battle, as you are.
Yeah.
Stuck to myself a little bit. I didn't really mingle too much.
And your process, your rehearsal process, are you one of these, I mean, dare I say, obsessive, Germans, or?
Yeah, I probably am, to be honest. Like, I haven't choked in a battle yet. I haven't really had to stumble
That's
yet.
true, actually. You haven't, yeah.
And it's because I really do make sure I don't fuck up. Like, I don't know, back then as well, it was much more important to have some freestyles, some flips. I always had segments where I'd leave some space in case I have something to flip. Usually be the beginning or the end of the verse, but sometimes it'd even be in the middle of the verse if the two lines don't connect. You could say, okay, that'll be a spot where I could flip something, which made it even more hard to rehearse. You know what I mean? Like, if you have to kind of break up your lyrics, like if you're doing the ABC, you can easily go through the alphabet, but if you need to stop at one letter, then freestyle something and then carry on, you probably have to start from the beginning again. That's how I am, at least. It's quite easy to remember something from start to finish, but it's quite hard to just step in wherever. So I remember, driving my roommate crazy, just rapping it over and over again, more than any other battle.
Yeah.
Just do it in my sleep, basically.
So we have Nishi kicking it off here. A common theme as well in your battles, Jay, is your nose.
Yeah.
He does a long nose. Like, I've got to be honest with you, and maybe the camera's being quite forgiving, but when I was watching your battles, I've been thinking, your nose isn't that bad. Like, I'm not trying to flatter you, but...
you hadn't got a side profile, man.
Right, it's true, that's true, yeah. Bagnall is, very giving cameraman. This otter face doesn't want to play. Apparently, you went on you went on Twitter and sent a message to two dudes, and they both said you were gay, and you agreed with them or something. It's kind of Nishi. I appreciate what you're saying about his delivery. Some of it's just a little garbled in front of like, what does this mean?
Yeah, no, like I have to say, like content-wise, there was very little there that I can remember that hit, because I mean I didn't even have Twitter at the time, so I don't know. No, these personals. Well, here's something that does hit a little better. Your claim to fame, he says, is being a forum king, which I mean we're touching on there, the audio battles and stuff like that. You challenged J Focus on Hip Hop Kings. Yeah, that's probably true. I can't remember J Focus, but because I was doing all these tournaments back then, there was like prize money, so I got into it at some point. I was short for that battle, so I was trying to challenge all the people that had won, and like try and like say, hey, let's do a battle for 100 euros.
Yeah,
he must have gotten wind of all that.
Yeah, apparently J Focus was the guy who, and I'm quoting Nishi here, got his shit pushed in by Hollow the Don.
Yeah, it's true. That was before that, though, obviously.
Yeah. It wasn't after his J buzz that he got Hollow. Very, very interesting to see in these early Blood of the Waters as well. Jay Bagnall is there just as a fan.
Yeah, there's a fan.
Yeah, which is just that's.
Yeah, I think he gave me a lot of props back then before he was the camera guy. He was kind of a little bit of a fan. Obviously, not just of me, he just loved the whole thing. But I remember him specifically at two events coming up saying, "Oh, Jay, he's sick, man. He's sick."
Oh, that's good, man. That's good. Yeah, no, it's
his like passion for me died out after a while. When he was a fanboy, he was definitely.
Yeah. But no, it is awesome to see him back there. You start off with flips, Jay, as you say. You flip the nose thing. Your girl didn't mind when I shoved it up her clit.
That was like a typical.
Yeah.
Kind of looking back, quite a weak flip, but something that really gets reaction quite easily.
I mean, similarly, bitch is jealous because my nose is 5 times the size of your dick.
Yeah, those are all like very simple.
Yeah. You say that Kulez's verses against Madness were ghostwritten by Nishi.
That was obviously they weren't.
Yeah, no.
Because that was my first Don't Flop event. Like even as a viewer, I hadn't been to one before. I thought it's important to get some type of crowd, please, some type of insider joke, because to this day it's always quite important to do that.
Hell yeah.
And I think the battle that had come out at the Blood in the Water 1 event was Madness against Kulez, and it was quite a big battle at the time, because Kulez was big at jump off and Madness was just an international opponent, and Kulez flopped hardcore in that battle. Like he was just terrible shit. I think he just freestyled the whole thing. Right. So it became a bit of a running joke. So my diss was that he had ghostwritten those lines. Yeah. You talk about his hair. I really like this line. Interesting maze on your head, it seems. You'd make plenty of peas by getting fleas to pay entry fees. I was lucky as well. When I said that, because he was wearing a cap, so you couldn't actually see his hair. But he took it off just when I was saying that.
Oh, shit. Your girl got wet when she saw a photo of Nishi. Nishi says in the second. Goes on your nose again. And another common thing, Jay, I don't know if you are Jewish, but you get a lot of you're not Jewish.
No, I'm not Jewish.
You get a hell of a lot of Jew jokes.
Yeah, it's the nose, man.
Yeah. And then Nishi has quite a sort of ludicrous line that I could almost imagine O'Shea saying as a haymaker. It doesn't really hit here, but the only time you're blowing up is sucking dick doing a handstand. Which is just kind of a ludicrous image here, and I mean, just lots and lots of good stuff here. You couldn't create a sick atmosphere if you tried poisoning Slug. You say you have more wordplay than him, and wordplay's a terrible name for a like rapper or battler.
Yeah,
it's too on the nose, Nishi.
It's very good that he changed it to Nishi,
He says that he's an actor on IMDb, Nishi, in the third.
Yeah, that's true. And he is an actor, and that's one of my third I go in on that as well, on his acting thing. Are you an actor or rapper? You can't be shit at both or something like that.
Yeah.
That's one of the infos I had on him, like one of the few things that he's an actor. I didn't watch his film. It was Dandy Dust or something.
Dandy Dust, yes, you do name it, yeah.
Never watched it, but he had a good angle that because I was, not really, but I was into film and had, gone to like a film class in Brighton and stuff. So I was like trying to be a director at the time, and he had like some angle that he's been on IMDb more than me, even though he's just an actor in one film. So that was kind of a good angle for me as well.
Yeah, I suppose so. And the battle ends, you win. Again, when Siesling's judging, you can see Bagnall just standing in the crowd, like he just literally just there. I know I'm making a big deal of this, but it is great to see. You know what I mean? It'd be like if you saw, yeah, it's just such a nice touch. I mean, obviously this is a bad example, but if there was footage of a young John Lennon and Paul McCartney sitting in the crowd or something, like it's just kind of like it's so cool that he would go on to become. That was a terrible example, by the way. It doesn't make any sense. But and he says, we'll get away from that. Nishi says the only reason that he won is because jokes beats wordplay. Mm-hmm. But you had more wordplay.
Yeah, but maybe he meant the name wordplay.
Yeah, the only reason that this thing beats me is yeah, But I mean, regardless, great to get a victory, I imagine.
Yeah, it was good. What I'm most happy about, apart from Bagnall standing in there, that's why. Because I mean, every battle rapper loves Bagnall. It's just
yeah.
Like so much respect to him and all his work he puts into it. And back then it was all just purely for passion. Like you didn't get a penny out of it. No one did it. But the other thing that I really, really rated was that Jan Baxter was one of the judges because he was like, or still is, like one of the MCs I rate very, very highly in England. Probably one of my favourite MCs. So it was great to have him there and like judge my battle.
And I mean, afterwards, what a rush! Not only to have Immaculate in the building and to see him later, but you won a battle. It's going to go on YouTube. Like
it was crazy, man. I was there with like a few old school friends as well who like have nothing to do with hip hop, like
right.
Especially not battle rap. So it was like a completely different world for them, and they didn't. Some of them didn't really know I even rap, probably. Mm-hmm. So it was just it was quite a like overwhelming feeling just standing there in front of these people, including some friends that didn't even really know I rap. Yeah. And then just going all out. And it works quite well. The more nervous I am before a battle, the better I perform usually. Right.
Next battle that we're going to sort of skip over quickly is Siesling. Very cool that you battled him early on. There is something that happened in that battle that we're going to get to, which I think obviously you know about. It relates to the next person that you battled proper. That being an unusual figure in early Don't Flop days. This guy's quite distinct when you look back, quite original in his own sort of bolshy way. That being Prince Kong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just this like aggressive lout who just had bars. Like it doesn't really exist anymore in modern battle rap.
Like from a German's perspective, he's like the cliche English guy.
He is.
Imagine like in a football stadium.
Oh yeah,
as like a hooligan or whatever.
Holy shit, he has stomped out a few people. I don't care if that's libelous or not. I just, I mean, he's good. He's done some okay battles. Like I remember he weirdly he has the odd, what's the word? Honor in my mind of doing the first ever defeat bar I ever saw on camera.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I remember he did it against Most Prob, and he was like, what was it like? You like a sexually freaky Jamaican because you taste defeat or something like that. It was I mean,
he's the first one, then credit to him, man.
Yeah, I don't know if it was, but I remember afterwards when I heard a defeat line, I was like, oh, you're copying Prince Kong? And then soon I was like, oh, it's this played out thing. I didn't, it kind of made sense. But
even in the forum days, defeat was a played out.
Holy shit, yeah.
To Kong, like he was a guy I really didn't like at the time, or we just didn't like each other before the battle. That's why it was kind of a heated battle. But as usual, after a battle, you kind of gain respect for someone, and I've got respect for him.
Yeah, no, I'd love to have him on the show. Actually, I think he'd be a really good guest. I think he'd be really interesting. He get good battles against Censor. I remember as well. He's left it all behind. I think I don't know what he's doing now, but yeah, I mean, he had some good ones early on, and this is a good one actually. This is an interesting battle, and we should mention as well. We were talking about the animosity between you. I guess the main thing is during the Siesling battle, as I said prior, you mentioned his name, and he just told you to fuck off, didn't he?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then you freed it and then hit him back?
Yeah, exactly. And I kind of flipped him. I can't remember what it was, but I freestyled something back at him and the crowd went nuts. And it kind of actually worked really well for me. It's probably the best moment of the battle, which wouldn't have happened if he hadn't, called me.
Yeah,
but that's probably why the beef started, because he felt a bit dissed. Felt dissed that he tried to, ruin my round. And that's how it all started.
Don't Let the Label You is on the front of the video. Scattered coloured on the Rubik's Cube is the preview.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the album my friend and I made. Like H2O is the guy I run Don't Let the Label You with. Mm-hmm. He's also my best friend and just the guy I've always been rapping with. And just before I think before the seizing battle, just before then it came out, our album. I think we just finished it before the Nishi battle. And we kind of like sold it here in Berlin, like on the streets and stuff. And there was a documentary with Red Bull where we traveled from Berlin to Casablanca with no money, just like selling the CD on the street.
Oh, nice.
Which is funny because that was never ever brought up. Like that was quite a big exposure thing that people could have researched, and there's quite a few embarrassing things that happened on that trip. We did a documentary, but luckily, I guess no one ever brought it up in a battle. And now I can talk about it quite openly because it's so long ago.
Yeah, is that online? Actually, I'd like to watch that.
Bits of it are still online, on YouTube. I think it's all on the Red Bull website somewhere, but it's like way back in their archives.
Yeah. I mean, the amount of kind of like, interesting European adventures they funded, it must be. But I'm gonna search that out. Yeah, that could be quite cool. What could you imagine being brought up as an angle then? What did happen? What were the most embarrassing things?
There's just small little anecdotes and just embarrassing things. The way the whole thing was presented, looking back on it, even at the time, we planned to do this whole trip independently. We just wanted some money to pay some film guys to come along so we could do a documentary. So we thought, okay, Red Bull got a lot of money, they sponsor shit. So we just sent them an idea, and I think they kind of misinterpreted it and thought we were a much bigger film production company that had this idea and just want a bit of funding. Because they wrote back saying, yeah, let's come to a meeting to our office and bring the film production crew and everything. And it was just me and two other mates. So, we need to actually find a production company now to look more professional. And from then on, it all went a bit tits up, like it wasn't really in our control anymore. And it got turned into a bit of almost a bit like a soap show where it wasn't about the music as much as it was about, our personal relationships. And one of our friends had, struggles with his girlfriend, and then focus on that. And, it was a bit like a reality TV show.
Right.
So in that sense, it was kind of cringe. And that's how Don't Let the Label You all came out as well, because we didn't want to be seen as these Red Bull rappers. So instead of just selling the CD on the streets, we thought of some T-shirts to print as well. And instead of having like a merchandise JOLLYJAY H2O T-shirt, which wouldn't have sold at all, we thought of a cool slogan, and we just took something out of one of our tracks, which was Don't Let the Label You. And that's how it started. It started as a T-shirt. And then, then we had a website, and then once the film was all finished, we still had the platform there and uploaded videos of friends and stuff. And then all of a sudden it was a YouTube channel, and then it turned into a battle league.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll get to the league, because definitely interested to sort of, just talk about it in depth and kind of in full.
Listen, Patty, usually when I see a bitch with tits, I'm happy. But I swear, I haven't seen two tits this crappy since his granny stripped to shag me. Now, I've heard of the term chick with a dick. Never heard of the term dick with two tits. Plus, I think that you're thick. Like, what part of don't you understand? You're always ready to flop. Only time you're on a roll, it's got some jelly on top.
Blood in the Water 4, huge battle. Why was there £200 on the line?
Because I think actually, to be honest, when Prince Kong wrote me saying he wants to battle me, I wasn't that keen on the battle, purely because I'd just battled Season from his crew. Yeah. With a lot of the same angles, he's from Brighton and the same crew. They're all about drinking rum and shit. So I felt like it's a bit worn out. Sure. Straight away to do the same thing again, even though they're very different characters. So I said, no, I'm not really into it. And then he said, look, I'll give you £100 if you beat me. And I said, oh, fuck, I'll do it. And then he wrote back a week later saying, yeah, but if I beat you, you got to down a bottle of rum in front of everyone. And I was like, yeah, cool. I was so confident I'd beat him. Overly cocky, confident like an idiot. So I said, yeah, but then I thought about it. I've got this kidney thing. Like I have to drink a lot of water and stay hydrated. Right. And I thought, if I actually do lose and I'm going to be a man of my word, I'm going to down a bottle of rum, but then basically I'm going to have to get taken to hospital. Yeah. So, I wrote him back saying, you know what, fuck the rum idea. I'll give you £100 as well if you. Right. So then they made it £200 because they just took both our 100. Sure. And it turned out to be the only battle I ever lost, annoyingly.
Yeah, that's true, actually. You basically talk about freestyling a line back at him. You begin, and he was such a good boy. So you immediately touch off on that sort of thing, what we spoke about. You sound like a Donkey Kong. Up your game, boy. You say
they're so dated.
Yeah. You say that you gave him a valuable lesson in ka-ching.
What was that? Oh yeah, no, ka-ching as in like I think it was something about the money.
Yes, no, yeah, but it was just kind of interesting to hear you make that sound. Taking Jay out the game, this is Prince Kong now, like a game of Scrabble?
Yeah.
He
I
said,
thought that was laid out at the time.
yeah, yeah, majorly.
And it came with another line with something about Jay and a split, that word.
Yeah. Even Twister was doing that. Yeah. I mean, we've heard that. We also get from Prince Kong a teardrop line, which is,
But at the time, that wasn't that bad, actually.
I suppose not. I suppose I dropped tears.
He had a similar line in his title match against Definition. I remember.
He did, actually, and QP against JC had a tier line that I thought was actually dope, where he's like, "You're the face of mid-tier," like the Jordan meme.
Well, that's actually good.
Yeah, that's fine, and it was done in that QP kind of, which makes it all the better. Nose lines and nostril lines, which I'm sure Prince Kong's very familiar with. He says "boo" to you. He's going "boo." Yeah, he just does that in your face.
Yeah. and I did kind of quinch. I didn't expect it. I just take a sip and I had like a little shock moment. Yeah.
No, he's quite a threatening guy.
Yeah, he is. I guess he is. Like in a battle, like you back then, because he was being a bit threatening in his way beforehand. And I did think, because I had some, I don't know if you did get to it, I had some bits about his girlfriend, where I kind of flirted with her in German and stuff. I did think, shit, man, if he is a man of his word, he's going to knock me out. But then I realised that if someone does that in a battle, it's almost like an immediate win. Like, it's almost more humiliating for someone to punch someone in a battle because of how hard he's dissing you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
You're going there to see who's the better MC, and if someone has to then punch you out because you're dissing him so strongly, then that's kind of a compliment. So I thought, even if I get a punch to the face, like, it's not the worst thing that could happen.
No, I suppose not. I mean, it would have been surprising, I think. I think Kong is just sort of, riding that aura that he has. Beating you, funny line from you in the second, beating you is easier than playing rock, paper, scissors against Edward Scissorhands. Listen, fatty, usually when I see a bitch with two tits, I'm happy. Going in on Kong's shape here. You said that you loved him in Lock, Stock and Smoking Barrels, saying, can everyone stop getting shot?
Yeah, shout outs to H2O on that one, like the guy I rap with. I was thinking, like, what does he look like? He seems familiar, like some actor. And he was like, the guy in Lock, Stock. I was like, oh yeah, I'll do a line. And that was one of the lines that got the most reaction. Yeah, definitely in a Don't Flop crowd as well. And then you sort of had the unlimited rounds at the end. What's the reason for that? I think I can't remember. I think one of us requested it. I think he requested it, and I was well up for it because I hated always shortening my rounds. Back then you had like 90 seconds, so I spent about a fourth of the time writing and about 3/4 of the time cutting it down before I memorized it. So I was happy to do it unlimited. But the problem with unlimited rounds is if you're going first, it's a big disadvantage because the guy going second first he's got much more to flip, but he can also just add some more bars to the end of his verse until he thinks that I've got it now. You know what I mean? It's a bad decision.
Probably my highlight of your third longer round is the whole I swear, going to his girl, Prince Kong's girl, I swear I kind of like you, hun. You must be slightly dumb. Only reason you date this slimy cunt is to feel more like Heidi Klum.
Yeah, because he had a scar on his face.
Yeah, he did. Alice, okay. we get it, Jay. Yeah, but, and apparently Kong, just kind of like, I don't know, he sort of wins it on personality, I have to say. Like, it's kind of irresistible to watch him. He's like this bulldozer of sort of like not great lines, but he just kind of pulls it off with swagger in a weird way.
Yeah, I have to say, like, at the time, you can tell I'm a bit annoyed about the result, and I felt like content-wise, I was better, and a lot of people say, oh, you got robbed and stuff. But I have to admit, like, watching it back, I haven't watched it in a few years, but watching it back recently, I completely understand why he won. Like, he did use his space more. He delivered it much better. He seemed more confident. So, yeah, I think it was actually a fair win for him.
Yeah, and at the end, actually, it's funny you say that's 2 minutes versus 6 minutes, quite bitterly, and it's actually only a minute difference. I did measure. So
that was my most embarrassing moment on the vlog. I was like, oh, why couldn't they have cut that shit out? Such a cunt.
Oh man. So you're at this point you're still going ahead, doing well nonetheless. 2011, this is your second battle of 2011. You have another 2 battles in this year, and then you kind of seem to slow down a little bit. I mean, was this kind of like, everyone has that sort of first proper year, don't they, where they really get their teeth in?
Yeah. I mean, I think if I'd lived in England, I'd have been a lot more active. But it was always quite difficult flying over. You know, back then also it was. I don't think anyone got paid at all.
No.
Maybe the Americans got their flight covered. I'm not even sure about that. So I was always on my own cost as well. So obviously that like limited it a bit.
Yeah, of course.
And it's probably also one of the reasons why I was lucky enough to always be booked for good events at the beginning, because I always told her, like, you know, I'm flying over, so it'd be good if I can be on some kind of cool event that'd be worth seeing. And played into my hands a bit.
Well, I mean, that happened with the next event as well. We had another Blood in the Water event. This is a big event, this was. And this is against a guy that I literally did not know who this guy was. I was looking through JOLLYJAY battles on Verse Tracker. Shout out Ryan from Verse Tracker. That was a great episode as well. And I see this guy, D. Metz, who kind of looks like a Mormon or like a sort of, you know what I mean? He kind of has that sort of traveling Bible salesman kind of vibe.
Your mom's a housewife who's forced to cook a lot. Your dad's a redneck who screams they took our jobs. Your bitch is literally so fat and so big that she can get a hand job by sitting on the Statue of Liberty. And you, what? Uncle Sam, as a younger man, he tried to replace his George Bush poster with some country rap, and his mum and dad said, "You fucking mad." See,
was he a well-known guy back then? What was his sort of renown?
He had a he had a big battle at some, I think, World Domination. So he was like an up and comer from America, and like, because he was a bit ahead of his time in the sense that he was quite had a lot of wordplay. You know, it was quite complex. Like, almost a bit too much. Like, it wasn't really a crowd pleaser because there weren't many punchlines. It was just a lot of really abstract wordplay. But a lot of people rated him because of that. But I didn't really know much about him either, to be honest. It was I just told me about him and then I checked him out. But he was like by far the best opponent I could have possibly gotten. Like, he was the most fun opponent to have. Not only was he American during like quite a critical time politically, where everyone was criticizing America, but WikiLeaks was just getting big. But not only that, and that's not an angle, but he actually was in the army in America, quite a proud Republican. So that was quite an easy angle to attack. And then his style, like you said, he kind of dressed like Willy Wonka. So it was just like, it wrote itself that round. It was just so easy to write. I had a lot of fun with that battle.
Yeah, he was on World Dom against CL, which is pretty crazy. He's also on Grind Time quite a lot as well. He's on Pit Fights. Mad to see that league was going in 2010. That's a Baltimore league that is still going, actually. They still have people on there. That's pretty cool. I'll have to investigate that a little bit more. But yeah, he seemed to have quite a few battles. Seemed to be quite a memey sort of battle rapper. He definitely has that look to him. The best dressed man in Don't Flop is how he introduced himself. He bigs up Grind Time. He ends his intro with ice. And he later says ball game. He's a bloody walking cliche, isn't he, Jay?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. I mean, I don't want to diss him too much now that the battle's way over, but at the time I thought he was a bit of an idiot.
Yeah. Bigs up Nuts magazine as well, which is nice to see. Pete Cashmore in the hizzy. Starts off with German bars, D. Metz. Leave Berlin burning. I mean, you know, turn JOLLYJAY to a Jolly Roger. All your skeletons in the closet, I'll run them up a pole. That's quite nice.
Yeah. He had some good stuff. Again, kind of ahead of his time. And
yeah. I think that's fair.
More appreciated now than back then, I think.
Yeah. And just kind of like just weird imagery and kind of slight multis. Like, I'll pick apart you like a Thai guy behind a giant plate of spider legs.
Yeah,
okay.
That's it.
There we go. Attention, whore is how you start going in on him. You see behind his fancy facade. Uncle Sam was a younger man. We check. Hates Obama. Prefers Sarah. You say Sarah here rather than Sarah. Hates Obama. Prefers Sarah because she's pale in comparison.
Pale in comparison.
Yeah. Not bad. America wouldn't exist if it wasn't for England. We hear this angle a lot.
Yeah.
But you know, still some good stuff. And he actually kind of mentions the Red Bull tour here, the tour sponsored to Morocco. Is that something else?
True. He's the only one who ever really mentions it. Yeah, but he mentions. I think he has a good angle, which is very true. I think Eek actually does that as well. Say you represent so much, the label you, but then you're affiliated with some label, which is a great angle.
Yeah.
People could have used that a lot better, I think. But yeah, he was the first person to kind of mention it. But I don't think he did it like as well as he could have.
And you go in on the fact that D-Metz was in the army at the time, the Marines. I mean, that must be rare. I can't think of many battle rappers that have been in the military of any kind.
Yeah, and he was quite proud of it as well.
Yeah.
Like he kind of based his image around it.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it was just a great, again, like to battle him, it's just the best thing you can have, someone who's, in front of quite a liberal audience.
Yeah, someone who is emblematic of the anti. Yeah, I mean, the Marines, yay, that's exciting. All that really means is you're a slave to the right wing.
Yeah.
We get a shaving Ryan's privates bar, Jay.
That's terrible, yeah.
I was surprised to hear that. I was like, I'm not being this like critically judging you, but I remember like in primary school, like that was the joke, and I was like, there it is. Most exposure this American's got is through WikiLeaks.
Yeah, that's when WikiLeaks was just getting big. It was in the media a lot.
Yeah, it's a good battle, man. It's a real fun back and forth from you two, and in the post interview, D-Metz interestingly says that he's going to battle her in 6 years at Battle in the Blood in the Water 29.
I think you just missed that.
Yeah. It was at the Fiddler's Elbow. Yeah. So again, another victory for you, man. You must have felt like you were on a bit of a roll.
Yeah, at the time I felt, it was good. It was a good little role at the time, yeah. I mean, everything was still judged back then, so it kind of meant something to win. Like nowadays, it's not really about winning or losing officially.
No.
Yeah, but yeah, it was good. I mean, I have to say, like, because I've watched a lot of your shows, and you've got lots of people that are so active, and we're going way back. And at the time, of course, the level was just different. Like, the expectations of a battle were different. The whole concept was different with shorter rounds. So I have to admit, like, a lot of these battles, even though I thought they were good at the time, looking back at them, they're a bit dated. But saying that, I do think that the battles back then are easier accessible for people.
Oh yeah.
Who don't really, follow battle rap so much. It was a little bit more easy to get into. Whereas now you kind of have to really understand the scene, or it takes a while to really get into battle rap, or you have to, really know rap to understand all the wordplays and all the complexity in the bars. Whereas back then it was a bit more punchline based, so it was easy for anyone to get into, really. So that's the positives about back then, but obviously the level's much, much higher now.
Yeah, I mean, as with anything, right, it just progresses naturally. It just becomes more dense and more meta. It has to survive, really, because trends change, but, fans still keep watching, so I guess it molds to their tastes. I mean, talking of fans, at this time, so we're going to just sort of pass over sort of into 2012, I suppose, but let's stay in 2011 for the time being. How big was Don't Flop getting, from someone on the inside watching it, experiencing it on the outside? Like, was it growing and growing, or?
Well, I mean, it's tiny compared to now, but at the time it seemed pretty massive because, I mean, only about 2 years before Don't Flop were doing events on her channel, where they were doing a park and like Granny with her shopping bags would like walk through the cypher in the middle of a battle or whatever.
Yeah.
Then only 2 years later, they're doing international events with these big international names and stuff. So it seemed like a really big thing, even though all battles are only getting about 10,000 views, if that. It still seemed like quite a big thing back then.
And you say you were, when you came back for big events, which is very, very true. And the next battle that you came back for, great battle, this one, great event as well. This was Eek at Distinction.
Oh, no, I think that came later. I think it was Verb T in between.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, yeah, we can touch on that as well, yeah.
Oh, so you mean because the Verb T was like the birthday event. I think that was like probably was after the D-Mice, and like you said back then, because I had won a few, that was probably where I don't know, my name was quite amongst the top 10 or something, because it was the main event at the third birthday. Like, it just shows how much time changes, just thinking about being the main event at a birthday event. But
that's true.
That's how things change. But yeah, it was Verb T versus me as the main birthday event.
Mm-hmm. And was that the whole make a living on each of someone else's beats?
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. I mean, Verb T, what a legend.
Yeah, exactly. That was a great. Like, I rated that so much because I really was a fan of Verb T's growing up. And that was maybe like a little bit of a low point in his career. He wasn't really doing that much music at that point. But now he's a legend again. I mean, even in Germany, everyone knows 4 hours, So that was a great battle to have. Like, and I respect the guy a lot. We did a track afterwards together as well.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Verb T is fucking dope, man. Yeah, he's written some great tracks, like been part of some great tracks. He did this song with Jest, actually, called Closer, that's absolutely brilliant, like, just wonderful song. And then you go on to battle Orcs, who was kind of a little bit of a break. You had the battle with Verb at the end of 2011, and this isn't until August of 2012.
Yeah. It's true. I don't know exactly why I had the break, but just turned out that way. And I think that after then it kind of went a little bit downhill because it was such an active time, Don't Flop, and I wasn't active. So that's how it is. If the scene grows, and you're not really that active, you're forgotten quite quickly because all these new people come into the scene and just don't know you. So it became harder to get like an opponent that I really wanted. Like all the opponents I really wanted had been much more active and just didn't really see much in battling me. They could have gotten some international person or something. So it's quite hard to get a battle, even though was, being quite cool. He was trying to, organize the battles I wanted. It just didn't really happen. And then I kind of took Orcs just so I wanted to get back into it. And I liked Orcs a lot. He's a nice guy, but he wasn't really the type of opponent I would like to write for. Like it was quite difficult writing for Orcs because he's just a nice guy. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mean this personally, but like he just on the face of it, he's quite average, isn't he? Like, there's not many angles you can really take with Orcs. Like, it's not quite as prominent as say a D-Mites or whatever. But who were the battlers that you wanted to battle?
I remember back then I wanted to battle Archaic really badly. Why? I don't know why.
He's dope, man.
Yeah, he's dope, no question. Obviously, he's dope, and he was quite a big name as well.
Yeah.
And he was doing a lot of battles, so I thought it would be kind of realistic. And I remember her saying, "Yeah, I'll try and ask him to do it. He's not really on it, but I'll try and ask him to do it as a favor for me and stuff." But it never really happened, which is fair enough, to be honest. Like if I was him at the time, I probably wouldn't have taken the battle either.
Right, yeah. I mean, part of me, I don't know if it's just could have had you on the show, but part of me wants that battle to go down now. Like, I don't know why. I think it's like because he's very aggressive and you don't really have that, but I think you would outwit him and it'd be quite a fun one.
Yeah. Another guy I wanted to battle, this came later though, because it actually was fixed and it's a great opponent, but then he backed out numerous times actually, is Villain. I've got 3 completely written for Villain, and it was meant to go down in the Don't Flop, Don't Have to Label of UCO event. And then he out of it. And then he said, "Yeah, let's do it at Sunburn." And I was like, "Oh, sick, yeah." And then he backed out of it, and I don't know, he hasn't really battled and Don't Flop since. So I don't know what the story is there. But yeah, if he ever listens to this, I'm not saying he's ducking me or whatever. That's shit. But I've got 3 rounds of fire against him, man. Like my best 3 rounds ever written. For sure.
No! Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, I'm actually having Villain on next week, so I'll bring it up, man. I'll definitely interrogate and see why, because that would be a good battle, man. Like that's and if like Training Days had that as a headliner or something, that'd be fun. I think that could go down really well.
I'd even do it on UKBR. If he's got like some problem with Don't Flop, I don't know why he hasn't battled there. I see you doing a battle on UKBR. I'd do it there. I'd do it anywhere, to be honest. I'd do it on King of the Ronalds. I'd do it here in Germany, wherever, just because it's a waste. I don't like wasting time. I wrote all those bars in. But again, like I was a name before he even entered Don't Flop, right? And since he came, he's been very, very active. I haven't. So I understand that he's not actually jumping up to the opportunity, battling me. You know what I mean? That's probably what he'll say in the interview. But still, I reckon he should do it. I mean, just because he said he would, and it was fixed. So, be a man of your word, man.
Yeah, no, fair enough. So, Eek, we get on to through distinction.
See, I knew you'd make this a Germany versus Russia issue. Talk about Stalin, Hitler, like every other fool that I've parred. I can do that shit too, it's not hard. You're Russian, I can talk about Stalin, or you being part of the USSR. But this is 2013. Me versus you has fuck all to do with the past.
What an awesome event this was. There were so many people there. The energy was just terrific.
My favourite event probably that I've been to.
Yeah.
Even though it was on a stage, and I prefer the pit format a lot more over the stage format, for some reason there it didn't really seem like a typical stage battle because there's so many people on stage with us.
Yeah.
And we didn't have like clip-on mics. We had, I don't know how they did it. They had like stage mics so that they didn't really bother you at all, but everyone still heard you perfectly. And it was just, there's so many good battles at that event, and it was just a great, great time. I went there all by myself as well. There's the only event I went to without any friends or anything. Like, no one came to join me because it was in Leeds. I don't really know anyone in Leeds. So I just flew over there from here for a 2-day event and just it was good. Yeah, mingled with people and had a real good time.
Yeah, no, loads of classics went down there. Yeah, seriously good event. Eek, interesting guy, right?
Yeah, very good. I mean, I remember when I think said this would be a great battle. I said, oh no, I don't really fancy Eek, and I think he's a bit generic because I'd only really scrolled through his battles. I never really watched it properly.
Yeah.
But then a few people saying, no, definitely do it, man. That'd be a great matchup. And then the more I looked into him, the more I thought, it's actually quite a good opponent to have. Just because there's lots of shit to say against it.
Yeah, oh yeah. My he does the whole sort of, he caught a virus from a girl, German girl. My pen is sealing. Like, I mean, we kind of nothing too around there. JOLLYJAY is something that perhaps sounds proper gay to him.
That's the oldest run I've ever heard of my name.
Yeah.
JOLLYJAY proper gay.
To beat me, you've got to be an Omega level mutant like Bobby Drake. It's quite nice. Iceman, for those in the know. Shout out Professor X. Your girl's always riding because I got that solid snake.
Yeah, he went through some snake bars. Some game bars.
Yeah, he did a lot of video game stuff. He calls his cock something that I've never actually heard a penis referred to, Jay. He calls it a yogurt rifle, which is...
I can't remember that.
Yeah, and someone says out loud in the crowd, "Yogurt rifle." Like you just you hear it echo out there in perplexity. You start off with a little story talking about his skin issue in Pete Cashmore's flat. What was that?
Oh yeah, so after the Orcs battle, I mean, usually when I'm in London, I've got friends and family I stay with, but that Orcs battle was somewhere I can't remember where it was, just somewhere not really close to anyone I knew. So Pete Cashmore offered me to crash at his. He had a few people crashing at his. Flex Digits, Bowski, Eek, and me, and we all crashed in this room on like mattresses and couches and stuff. And that's where I really got to know Eek, which was great because that meant I had lots of shit to write about. I really like even just meeting someone for half a day is enough to construct, around. Like it's even if they're really safe and they're cool, you can still kind of base your lines on reality, and it just gives you more ammo. And yeah, that night helped me a lot because he was acting like a bit of a drunk idiot as he is when he's drunk, and he was scratching his skin all night long. Like it actually kept me awake.
That's crazy.
Shit. So I just had like half of a verse on just his skin issues.
Yeah. Even Cashmore couldn't relax in his crib with the dandruff and skin flying about in bits. You don't rap for mass appeal. You just scratch and have a peel. The idea of him shedding so much skin that his shower won't drain, leaving like Hansel and Gretel crumbs from the train to the venue to the crowd to the stage. Really solid round. I mean, we get nose jokes from Eek in the second. Pinocchio, Pokey Nose. Looks like you got a bit of Toblerone. And then sort of touches on your sort of pre-written flips, and says he'll have a flip written for your flip written and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, it was so good. Thanks.
Generally, I stepped up a bit after that because I think the Orcs battle I wasn't so happy with. I won it, but it just wasn't. It seemed a bit generic and stuff. And I think, that was like a stage where battle rap had advanced quite a bit. So I think that Eek battle is one of the battles that I can still look back on today and kind of enjoy. I think it's not as dated, just simply because it's newer, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You quote Eek in the second, who apparently said that he beat Shawnee Boy to death with his dead mother's ribs.
Yeah.
Holy shit. You talk about the In the House tour, where basically he had said like rapping in key, is that right?
Yeah, that was this big thing. It was like an insider joke at the time. And funny enough, I think the video came out, the In the House video came out like 2 weeks before the battle. So I'd actually written most of my rounds and even rehearsed some of it already. And then they dropped this bombshell on me, like this huge, hilarious video of Eek where they just follow him with a camera because he's drunk for like 20 minutes or whatever. And I just wrote saying, man, what the fuck? Why do you have to post that just before the battle? I'm going to have to rewrite everything now. And I had to add some bits in there.
Yeah.
Just everyone knew I was talking about. Everyone had seen that video.
Yeah, of course. We get to slow it down from you, the whole financial crisis, Eek on a man, economy,
Economy, yeah. That was kind of a tongue-in-cheek slow it down because it ends off with people saying, like, slow it down, say it again. I was like, I wrote that one myself and I don't know what the fuck it means, honestly, and then goes into like how it's corny it is to have these forced wordplays.
Right. I see.
There's a semi kind of tongue-in-cheek slow it down.
Yeah, nice excuse, yeah.
You need to watch it in context.
Yeah. And interesting that Eek spends most of his third talking about Stalinism.
Yeah. I predicted that a lot because he likes to drop his history knowledge.
He does.
He's quite educated in that sense. And I hoped I had a premeditated flip. I mean, no one would believe it is a flip. I didn't even try to disguise it as one, but I just had a bit in my verse that flipped his entire round, just because I knew he's going to say something. I didn't know he was going to do a whole round about it, which made my line hit a lot harder. But I knew he would have mentioned something about Russia and Germany and the history, because he's half Russian. I'm half German. I just knew it, and luckily it happened.
No, it seriously did. Eek goes deep into the Communist Manifesto, twisted by a bunch of tossers, politicians at the top. Marx made your country responsible for the atrocities of Stalinism. MA can be heard screaming, "Send him to the gulag." All that proper shit is down to some German cunt like you, blinded by jolliness and optimism. Moscow is the proper victim. Not bad stuff from you. And then, like I say, you do flip it with the whole, this is 2013, me versus you has fuck all to do with the past.
Yeah.
Which is really, really nice, actually. And another good bar from you that I think gets a little bit slept on, I just kind of like the wordplay. If you put a G in front of Eek turns to a geek.
Yeah, it's all right, that one, yeah.
I mean, not bad. You're picking up the win pretty clearly there yet again. Fair victory, you feel?
Yeah, I think so. I think mainly because of that third round. That's the third round I had there is probably one of my favourite rounds I've had, just because it turned out much better than I even expected because of this round. Also, there's some lines in there that I just like to this day, which is quite rare. You do that, I don't like it so much a year later.
And next battle, interesting one in Germany. Hallowed place for yourself here with Don't Let the Label You, teaming up with Don't Flop. How did this event come about?
Can't exactly remember, but we were always in touch about it. Likes to expand as much as he can. There was even a short time when I told her about starting the league where he suggested we do Don't Flop Germany. So we'd run the events and get all the door, but it will come onto like a separate German Don't Flop channel. But Hannah and me had planned so long that we'll do our own league. So
and then you're letting the Don't Flop label you.
Yeah, exactly. But then we just, I don't know, at some point we just came about with the idea that they'll come to Berlin, we'll do 3 or 4 English battles and 3 or 4 German ones. They'll upload the English ones, we'll upload the German ones. And it turned out quite well. I mean, we learned a lot. That was still quite at the early stages of Don't Let the Label You. And a lot was bad back then. For example, events started in the evening, which meant they ended at like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning. Which is not ideal if you're trying to be sober and try and do a battle, and the crowd, they get quite tired. So I think that was a real big turning point, that event. We really learned a lot from that. And after that, we started doing daytime events and shit. Because not only my battle with Innuendo kind of flopped towards the end, the battle afterwards, which is a great battle, is Ogmios against Shongo Frey. That it's got great content, but it's just dead. The vibe was so good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get Ogmios is my favourite, but for someone like him as well, it's not. You need a lively crowd.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just impossible to get in Berlin. Everyone's allowed to smoke weed in the clubs as well. So if you've got like this club where people have been smoking weed for 6 hours and drinking beer, the atmosphere is just dead at the end. Yeah. So during my battle as well, the first round's still okay, still good atmosphere, and it just slowly slides away, especially because it's in English and people don't really understand everything. Right.
Innuendo, though, interesting opponent to face out there for you.
He's a great, Innuendo is a great opponent to face. I wish I could have done that battle in England. I even said it at the time, because he's got so much you can write about him. There's so much history. He's been around Don't Flop longer than I have. But obviously no one in Germany is going to catch all that stuff. So I remember just scraping out so many bars, or then trying to explain the bar so it makes sense to a German crowd, and then realize it takes up 30 seconds. I've got to leave it all out. And just making it more and more generic, and also kind of simplifying bars as much as you can to make sure the Germans will get it. It was my first time performing a battle in Germany, so I felt kind of a bit of pressure to, show them that I'm not just the owner of a league, that I can do this shit as well.
I said half English humour, half German efficiency in this, officially pimping. Best German to kick it in England since Jürgen Klinsmann of Boston. I said it's like boss today. It's Jolly J, humour dark enough to make Dr. Dave take off his shades on a sunny day.
Thinking way too much about impressing the German crowd, which I regretted later when it came on YouTube, because I just realised that it just became like a... Well, I mean, it was like bad bars. Like, there's so many bad bars in that thing. Like, funny bad bars, but stupid bad bars, you know? Things that make sure you get it, basically. Like, that's...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as if to compound, I mean, we spoke of Prince Kong earlier. Innuendo and Prince Kong kind of long-lost brothers in a certain sense, I suppose. Just with that bolshiness. And Innuendo is channeling, you know, in a brilliant sort of knowing way, the Englishman abroad stereotype, all the way down to him, the fact that he's rocking the Everton top. You know, he does a lot of German in his round as well. Lots of kind of like, you know, I mean, he does a lot of like just you know, Holocaust swastika bars, to be fair.
Yeah, he was quite brave to spit some of that shit in Germany.
Yeah.
I don't think it helped the atmosphere of the event necessarily.
No, exactly. Everyone's already tired, and now, it's not...
Hitler shit.
Yeah. And then you sort of... In your first, you know, talk of him being that tourist, looking forward to coming here and seeing the Eiffel Tower, drinking Heineken, etc.
Yeah.
I beef the shit out of you.
That's what I mean, like terrible.
It's like I beef. What does I beef mean? Like, Merc or
I beef. Yeah, it's terrible.
No, I know what it means. I'm just sort of rhetorically. Merc all in England, like the Chancellor was visiting.
Mm.
Well, I mean, you know, I've heard a slightly better rewriting of that by Mackenzie. I don't know if you know Mackenzie, the King of the Ronalds battler, where he's like with an angle on Merc all. Which is quite nice. Quite a lot of German references, as you say. Dr. Dave, who's that?
He's like a German battler, a legend in our league. A guy who never would take his shades off, apart from in that battle, where I say something like, "I'll make Dr. Dave take off his shades on a sunny day," or something like that. And Again, catering to the German crowd. Yes,
of course. And Seedor with the mask on?
Seedor, again, is a German rapper who's really famous, and he always wears a mask. So it's like Cedo and Cedo. Yeah. I see. And like a real German reference. Looking back, it's stupid because the battle goes on for 9. Like, it made me realise that you do perform twice. You perform it for the live crowd and for the YouTube community, which essentially is more important because it's going to be up there forever. Mm-hmm. And usually it's not really a difference because you got like battle rap fans from England in the crowd, the same guys watching at home. But when you're doing it to a German crowd and then for an English audience online, you have to think what's more important. And looking back on it, obviously the online community is more important. But at the time, I just was so like keen on making sure the Germans get it. And you saw like Innuendo against Raptor against Unanimous in our channel, like a great battle. And the people really liked it, but the crowd was dead because they just didn't catch most of the bars. You know what I mean? So it's really, really difficult to stand out to a German audience as an English rapper. Yeah. Unless you try and cater to them.
Long roundabout Innuendo's Facebook habits in the second.
Yeah, that was that was just like, cause I don't know, anyone who knew Innuendo at the time, he's kind of slowed down a bit, but at that time he was ridiculous on Facebook. He'd literally post everything, like anything he had to eat, he'll take like 5 pictures of it. Like my newsfeed was just, out of 1,000 friends, 90% was him, you know? Right. He's definitely slowed down. He even had 2 accounts, 2 personal accounts, probably another artist account, and he kept on getting banned on one account for posting, I don't know, nude pictures of girls or whatever, I don't know, stupid shit. Right. So he'd always then complain on his one account about how his other account got banned and shit.
You talk about him, you know, the public gaze, followed by eyes like Ali G's sentences. Only thing he likes to take more than random pictures of food is random pictures of you. Obviously directed at him. Chicks with tits who look like 2 Capri Suns after 6 sips.
He liked posting pictures of the girls he slept with.
Right, I've got him on Facebook, but only recently, so I can't imagine what
He's calmed down. Shouts to Innuendo, he's great.
Oh yeah, definitely great.
Funny motherfucker. I actually enjoyed reading all his Facebook spam back then because he's fucking hilarious. But it did make me cringe every now and then as well. Yeah, well, you know, because that openness is rare, but Innuendo is one of a kind, really. Great to have him on for an episode as well. But an interesting battle, isn't it, this one? The atmosphere is slightly, as we've discussed earlier, slightly perturbed. Yeah, Yeah, it starts off alright and just kind of dies out, especially in that second Facebook round, which was not punchline based at all.
No.
It just died down, and then mixed with his Nazi bars and shit, which not everyone really liked.
No. But I mean, talk to me about Don't Let the Label You then. Like, how long has the league been going? And I mean, forgive me for, I'm not trying to be, blunt here, but how big is it? I mean, is it Don't Flop level or?
No, it's nothing like Don't Flop level at all. But I would say that considering the league only has been around for just over 3 years, it's a lot bigger than Don't Flop was after 3 years. We had that advantage that, first of all, I won't lie, I use Don't Flop as an inspiration. I won't say copy it, but a lot of things we learned through a lot of their trial and error. So we had kind of ahead in that sense. And also battle rap, or just hip hop, is huge in Germany. It really is big, and there wasn't an a cappella battle league. There were lots of other battle platforms, one big one being called Rap am Mittwoch.
Yes, yeah.
I think they're the third or fourth biggest rap battle league in the world. But they never really did the classic a cappella battles. They didn't. There's always just freestyles, and if it was a cappella battle, it'd be like you versus him on the night. So it'd just be pure writtens, but really generic because you didn't know who you were battling.
Yeah.
So I really missed that being here, seeing such a huge hip hop vibe and so many people that are into rapping, but not that type of platform that I liked, like Don't Flop. So I kind of, as soon as I moved here, I thought, this is a project we need to do. It just took about 3-4 years till it got going. Because we were a platform beforehand, we had the channel for Don't Let the Label You, and we did videos of just friends spitting into the camera and music videos and shit. So we had a bit of the content as well. Had about 1,000 subscribers or something before we even put up the first battle. So that helped us as well. So we kind of had a little bit of a following before we even launched the first battle, which helped. And then as soon as the battle came, it just went rolling much quicker. Now we've got about 32,000 subscribers. So it's getting there.
Yeah, no, that's great, man. And we get to the final battle in a different country again. Here we are with Summer Dam against Mr. Tongue Twister. I mean, both of you guys, to be fair, you both go back, don't you? I mean, you even further so. But great to see these kind of revered Don't Flop heads coming together.
Yeah. Everyone who I told that battle about, again, I wasn't so keen. I don't know. I guess I'm picky at first. As soon as I have 2 or 3 ideas to an opponent, I'm really keen on the battle. But if I haven't got an idea straight away, I'm I don't really feel like writing for him. That's how I felt with Tongue Twister, which is stupid because he's a great guy to write for. But also, he had battled at that same time I battled Innuendo in Berlin. He battled my German friend, Brian Damage. So I thought, again, my friends already battled him and used a lot of the angles. I wasn't that keen on it, but the more I looked into him and the more I spoke to people, the more I realized that it's a really good matchup. We're kind of, in a way, he mentioned it as well afterwards to me, we are kind of similar in some ways, and some of our humor and some of the some of the battles that you look back on, we have slightly similar styles in some way.
When you filmed this Don't Flop Drops video, well, watch this. DFAFD, I'm Tongue Twister, here in Berlin, about to drop you some bars. That's it. A simple introduction, Chris. It's not very hard. But that intro took him 10 takes. He constantly mumbled and stumbled and cocked up the start it's Mr. Tongue Twister. You can watch it. And everyone who's fuck-ups in just for a laugh. But it honestly can't have been that much fun for the staff. From me watching you start over and over, took so long it got dark. Took so many shots, it's the reason for Liam's more muscular arms.
I think it was actually one of his strongest battles and probably one of my strongest battles as well. Not so much from the actual vibe and atmosphere because it was quite a small event, but certainly from the content, it was probably my strongest battle.
Yeah, it was a very, very good battle, man. And I mean, tough to battle in Don't Let the Label because it runs quite late, or at least that event with Innuendo does. Tough to battle here because everyone's stoned, or
in Amsterdam, the only problem was me being stoned, but I made sure I wasn't too high for the battle. I always tried to not smoke weed before a battle on the day.
Oh, yeah.
It just makes me sluggish and shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't think it works. Apart from Tony D, I don't think it works for many people.
Even he lost his battle against Zeus, didn't he, when he was high? So.
True. Yeah, even Tony can get too high, which is a lesson for us all, really. You go in, you're starting off saying you won't rap about his big nose, for an obvious reason. Red dot on Bagnus camera scene. When you show up, you wreck this whole battle scene.
Yeah.
That's nice. Think outside the box to leave more room to put you in it. And just, I mean, good stuff here. An interesting crowd, isn't it, with the tiered around?
Yeah, completely. It was I imagined it being bigger because it was by far the smallest event I'd ever been to. It was the last battle done, but it was by far the smallest crowd, and I had no idea what to expect. So I kind of, preparing it, I imagined it being in front of a much bigger crowd. So when I rehearsed it, I was giving a lot more energy, like being a lot more aggressive and kind of shouting my verses a bit more. As soon as I got there, I realised, that could be a bit awkward doing that here, especially because the battles before ours kind of all flopped. Like, there were some great battles at that event, but they all happened after ours. Like, all before us, there was like someone choked or...
Young Guns versus J Red, I think he was like stoned too hard.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it might have even been one that didn't get uploaded, or maybe demo.
Oh, right.
I don't really remember, but there's definitely kind of a dead vibes. And looking back, I should have just gone full blast, but it kind of put me back a bit. I thought, okay, I'm going to chill out a little bit, fit the stone vibe a little bit more. And yeah, it kind of worked, but it was very different to how I actually prepared it.
He had a track, this is you on Tongue, had a track called Old Boys. The only problem is it came out around 2009. Oh shit! Yeah, and that was obviously about him kind of feeling too old in the scene. And I love the ending. If Peter Piter picked I just fucked a tongue twister up. Damn. Yeah, really, really strong. And tongue twister, he's okay here. He just sort of, you do pigeonhole him as like kind of like presenting the show, having that sort of delivery, and he does have that thing, like, and it's kind of not obviously, great guy, had him on the show as well, but you kind of pick on that quite well. And he sort of talks about having a paid holiday for him to go out, but he did choke, didn't he? Is that right on your league?
Yeah, he choked against Brian Damage, but it's not on the video. It got cut out.
Right. I mean, as a league owner, is that ethical?
Well, it wasn't it was a Don't Flop battle. It was that.
Oh, okay.
But it got uploaded to Don't Flop. That was the joint event.
Oh, I see. So yeah, you guys didn't actually edit it out, sort of thing. Oh, okay. We get Jew jokes, we get getting gassed jokes, kind of thing. Love the whole. Him being a typical tourist, this is you in your second, and being in the Netherlands, getting shot in the coffee shop like a Friends episode. And you had a Friends bar against Siezling as well.
Yeah, true. Yeah, Friends.
So, there we go.
Friends. Can't remember what
on that Matthew Perry's. Yeah, you were like, he's got loads of Friends, season 1, 2, and 3, or something like that. Yeah. Twister with the J flips. It's like, come on, bruv. Like, we get a dom. I love this multi though. You're less photogenic than Joseph Merrick.
Nice multi, yeah.
Hard.
And he has really good multis. Like, whenever someone posts a multi, rhyme this thing, he comes up with some of the best ones.
Yeah, no, he's brilliant at multis. Yeah, no doubt. And it's a true story in the third. You talk about sort of the amount of chokes he did for his little drops.
Oh yeah, that was and I wasn't actually there when that happened, but so after our battle, the guys stayed in Berlin for a few days, and we met up at a pub, I think, the day after, and that was just after they went to Berlin to film a few drops. And they were just all joking about how often he fucked up his intro, like constantly couldn't get past the "Hi, I'm Tongue Twister." Like, kept on fucking it up, and they even left one of them those fuck ups in the actual video. So I thought, okay, that's great. His name's Tongue Twister, and he can't actually pronounce his name, and that's quite a good angle. So I kind of went on that a bit.
Yeah. There was, and after this, really, really good battle from you here. Great showing. Like, I haven't battled since. Like, has the love gone? Are you just busy with other things, or?
No, at all. The love hasn't gone, but it has been quite difficult to find the time to battle. I used to have much more time on my hands. Now with the league constantly editing, there's only 3 of us running the whole thing, so it's a lot of filming and editing.
Yeah.
It's just very time consuming. And like I said, the villain battle would have happened after that. It would have happened about a year ago. So I would have battled again if that would have gone through. But then that kind of put me off as well, having written all that and prepared it, and then it falling through, which didn't motivate me so much to start from scratch with a new opponent. But I'm really keen on getting back into it this year. I'm going to probably battle either here or in our league or at Don't Flop. Don't really care.
That's great, man. That's great to hear. Anyone you've got your sights on? Are you still holding out for the villain clash, or?
I mean, yeah, if villain ever wants to do it, I'm definitely going to be up for it. But right now, I'm realizing that after being inactive for so long, I don't want to be too picky. I'll just take pretty much anyone, really.
That's great to see. That's great to see. So, just as we wrap up, man, a few quick fire questions for you. The first one being your favourite. Don't let the label you battle.
we just had our title match. The last battle that went online on Sunday was our first title match.
Nice.
We got a title belt made, and it was Brian Damage who battled against Tongue Twister in English. He's a really talented MC. He's good in English, but much better in German, of course. Against Nido Nip, who's a really good MC as well. He's unbeaten in our league. So yeah, that just came out and it's been received really well. All the big German media platforms have posted it and stuff. So I'm really happy how that came out. That's probably my favourite battle I've had.
Excellent. I really want to check that one out. That sounds really cool. What about Don't Flop?
Best Don't Flop battle ever. Whoa, so difficult, man.
Yeah.
Because it goes through all these phases. Like, I used to be the biggest Tenshu fan. I thought everything Tenshu did was amazing. I loved all his battles. And then he came back against Copyright, and it seemed like his style was a little bit dated. Like, without hating on Tenshu, he's still an incredible MC. But again, that punchline style is a bit dated nowadays. You kind of have to rap more than just come up with multis and punchlines. So nowadays, best Don't Flop battle. Whew. There's been so many good ones, man. Probably, I wouldn't say the best one, but the one I've watched the most, and it's probably the same for a lot of people, is the Bad Bars battle. And funny enough, we actually did a Bad Bars battle in Germany as well. Again, Brian Damage against a guy called Bong Teggy. And that's our most viewed battle on our channel as well. And they very much used the English battle as their inspiration. They even did a bit where they did the greater flip bar. They did that in German, which makes zero sense whatsoever.
Right.
So he just takes out a grater and flips it, and it makes no sense at all. Like, it's just the most ridiculous bar. But there's like 5 people in the crowd who catch on to it because they watched the English Bad Bars battle. So for those 5 people, it's hilarious. I was backing up. Everyone else was like, "What the fuck?" So yeah, that's actually the Bad Bars battle is just legendary. Yeah. And also we have that trend here as well because it was such a big battle, the Bad Bars thing, that people start doing Bad Bars because it's just so much fun.
Yeah.
I think it's the same in England as well. Luckily, that's kind of fizzled out. But after that Bad Bars battle, everyone was putting in bad bars into their, like, intentional bad bars into their verses. Not like bad ones, but silly wordplays, including me. Like, I was obsessed with it as well. And I've got like tons against Innuendo, like so many shit ones, like Kilo and everything. Just because they're kind of funny. Like, if you're doing those bad bars with your friends, you laugh at them and they are funny, you know what I mean? But there's no real place in a serious battle for them. So I'm kind of glad that whole trend's died out a bit.
What about King of the Dot?
I think Past Day is probably my favourite battler. Probably in general, Hollow the Don and Past Day are my 2 favourite battlers. Them against each other was a bit of a flop, but I'm trying to think. Oh man, I'm drawing it blank. There's so many battles. It's like saying what's the favourite movie or what's the favourite track, you know what I mean? Well,
I am going to ask 2 of those questions very soon. Do you watch URL?
Yeah, I watch a lot of URL, yeah.
Yeah, what's your favourite URL? Do you have a favourite URL battle?
Sorry?
Do you have a favourite URL battle?
I've watched like every single Hollow the Don battle. I've watched tons of times. I caught on to them quite late. I always heard about the hype. And it took me a while to get into URL, into the Soul style. But once I caught onto it, I just watched back at all of his battles, and the classic. Obviously, you're gonna get this work as a classic. All the other big names, but no, I haven't got a standout favourite URL battle really.
Mm-hmm. Your favourite film? I know it's hard to answer, but
that's difficult. I'm really into documentaries these days for some reason. I really love documentaries. I watched. It's not my favourite one. It's just the one that just pops into my head right now. Is The Imposter. I can recommend that to people.
Yeah, I've seen that one. That's a crazy
kind of
one.
A crazy story. I wouldn't say it's my favourite film, but
it's a mad story. Yeah.
Mad story. Yeah, like the type of documentaries where the story is so crazy that if it was an actual film, you'd hate on it because you'd think, oh, it's so unrealistic. Yeah. The fact that it's a documentary just makes it so amazing because it actually happened. You know.
And finally, your favourite band or artist, Jay, that are in no way hip hop related.
No way hip hop related.
Yeah.
I was just going to say Strangelove. Those guys on the Ogmios show, they're friends of mine and they're just crazy. And actually, you know what? They're not hip hop related. Even though they are a hip hop group, they're so abstract. You can check some of their videos on their channel. I would
say they're still hip hop related if they're a hip hop group.
Yeah, all right, they're related. Yeah, they're making their own genre out of it. Non hip hop related stuff. Since I've lived here, I've gotten into electronic music a lot because Berlin's like the electro city. Like you go out to clubs till like 12 midday, but not so much that I know all the artists. Oh god, man, trip hop, a lot of trip hop.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of influences.
but they all kind of fizzle into hip hop, don't they?
I suppose they do. I suppose it is the kind of mother genre in many ways. But Jay, I guess finally, how do people get at you? How do people follow the league, follow yourself, that sort of stuff, your music?
Yeah, well, I haven't had much music come out recently at all. I've had a few features here and there, but I'm going to start working on that again big time this year. And people should definitely check out Don't Let the Label Label You. It's not the most easy name to always spit out. 2 syllables like Don't Flop would have been a lot better. Yeah, remember, don't let the label label you. And a lot of people add a label in there or leave a label out. It's 2 labels. Don't let the label label you.com. Or on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all that. You can add me on Facebook as well, just Jamie Seidel Curtis. We've got an artist group page as well, JOLLYJAY and H2O. Got a bunch of shit on YouTube. I'm not really in the whole Twitter game that much, or Instagram. We've got one for our company, but I'm not really on there all day. I am more of an old school Facebook type of guy. I think it's kind of enough having one platform that kind of ruins your life. You know what I mean? Yeah,
no, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. But Jade, thank you for joining me, man. This has been great.
It's been a pleasure, man. Really, really, really appreciate it, and I really like your show, man. And yeah, keep on doing that shit, man. I'll definitely try and get some more people from Germany to follow it as well.
Yeah, well, that would be great. But no, cheers, Jay.
Cheers, man. Thanks a lot, man. Easy.